Okay, nice. My name is Ivan Ivanov, and I'm opening our day 4 of Digital Week Online Innovation Day, which is starting with startup pitch competition, supported and sponsored by Invest Hong Kong and StartMeUp HK. So Invest Hong Kong is Department of Hong Kong government, and I'm happy to have here Jane Chan, head of StartMeUp HK. So Jane, it's your turn. Please introduce Invest Hong Kong and Hong Kong as well.
Right. Thank you so much. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, wherever you are. We're used to these global events, and we're finding out, the reach sometimes of two places around the world is actually usually quite incredible. But thank you so much for having me. And it's a real pleasure to be here. As Ivan mentioned, I head up the StartMeUp Hong Kong team of Invest Hong Kong. Now, Invest Hong Kong is a government department responsible for attracting overseas companies to actually establish here. So we are a foreign direct investment agency of the Hong Kong government. And, we provide a range of support for companies who are interested to look at Hong Kong as a potential base for expansion, as a place to actually develop the markets further here. I specifically look after the startup sector, and I just wanted to take this opportunity very quickly to actually just tell people a little bit more about what the startup ecosystem is like, and also the potential business opportunities if you're in the startup space. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to switch over to a presentation now. So I'll just share screen. It says the host has disabled participant screen sharing. So if the organizers can actually enable me to share screen.
Yeah, sure, leader will do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I still can't share it. I mean, I can talk an awful lot, but I'm afraid you're going to get a little bit bored of hearing my voice and trying to explain, some of these concepts.
Let me make you the organizer of because yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just start telling you a little bit anyway, whilst, we're still trying to resolve the technical problem. Maybe I could just take this opportunity just to give you a little bit of a snapshot about what's happening in terms of the statistics and things in Hong Kong, about the startup numbers and whatnot. So at Invest Hong Kong, we've actually had a dedicated startup team for the past 6.5 years. I've been incredibly lucky to be in this position since it was established. And during that time, we have been doing a startup survey to give us, I suppose, a little bit of understanding of what's happening in the ecosystem here, what kind of industries are startups participating in, where are the founders coming from, what kind of sectors are they working in, and this kind of thing. So we can just actually see how the ecosystem is developing over the years, and correspondingly how we might be able to support policy-wise as well. If we understand a little bit more about what's happening here, then we know the kind of policies that best potentially either support or augment existing kind of operations. So if we look at the number for last year, and I'm just going to try sharing again. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you can share it now. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So
Perfect. Yeah.
So just want to spend a little bit of time talking about our ecosystem. I was talking about the fact that, we have been doing this survey, and you can see the results of last year's survey, which is the most recent edition here. And actually, just in terms of the past few years, we've actually seen incredible growth in the actual number of startups. So residing at the various co-work spaces and accelerators and incubators, we have about over 3,300 startups working in those kind of locations. And in terms of the number of staff, you'll see here, you know, they're actually these startup companies are actually employing about over 10,000 staff, but there was a little bit of a blip, you know, from last year, and I think that's probably something a lot of different kind of cities can sympathise with. That is basically, you know, the impact from COVID. It really has. You know, impacted the actual operations and sales revenues of some of these companies. So we have seen a little bit of a dent whereby they've had to readjust staffing numbers. But the nice thing is the fact that even though that is the case, and you know, we're having to realign, you know, the number of staff that these companies are employing, you know, the actual number of startups themselves over the last year has actually increased. So it just demonstrates how resilient that is. One of the special things about the Hong Kong startup ecosystem really is how international it is. You know, you'll see here, so about a quarter of our founders actually come from outside of Hong Kong, and the top countries of origins you'll see here listed here. So, you know, we've got mainland China, we've got the UK, the US, Australia, France, you know, all making up the top 5 countries there. You know, the top 3 countries, mainland China, UK, and the US, they shift positions on a yearly basis, but those 3 are, you know, the main source of overseas founders that we've got here, which I actually think it's actually, you know, brings fantastic diversity to the kind of startups. You know, if you're a startup yourself or you've been in this ecosystem, they always tell you when you've got that international know-how and you've got a different way of looking and resolving problems, and then you marry that with local expertise, language capabilities, it makes for a very strong company. So, you know, we are very proud of the fact we have a very international startup founder base. Now, in terms of what kind of sectors these companies are sort of residing in, unsurprisingly, fintech is probably our biggest sector. You'll see here the majority of the companies working here in Hong Kong are the fintechs, but we've also got quite a lot involved in the e-commerce, supply chain logistics kind of space. And again, that is unsurprising because, you know, we are next door to the world's biggest e-commerce market, which is mainland China, of course. You know, even though it has a huge amount of indigenous kind of e-commerce companies, I think there's a lot of international companies that try to target the mainland China through Hong Kong. And there's a number of different reasons for that, whether we're talking about, you know, the capabilities of the language, of the, you know, the talent development, and also the fact that jumping from overseas directly into mainland China is, you know, it's a pretty big culture shock. And we often see companies setting up their kind of regional office, their headquarters here, and then they might set something up also in other places within mainland China as well. And it's also reciprocal as well. We're seeing mainland Chinese companies leveraging Hong Kong to go international as well. And we've also got quite a few firms involved in the, you know, the business and consultancy services, delivering that via tech. And of course, ICT makes up the top 4 kind of sectors. So, I mean, we think Hong Kong is an incredibly strong contender for a premier startup hub. And, you know, the reasons for that is actually we've listed here. I mean, I'm a big believer that for a startup hub to become successful, you do have to have some fundamentals in place. You've got to have access to market, you've got to have access to talent and access to funding. This is almost like the, you know, the very primary basic building blocks. And of course, as your ecosystem evolves, you actually have other components actually coming in as well that actually takes you further and further down the development and evolution of a city, of a tech hub. So in terms of the talent side, I mean, Hong Kong has something like 8 research universities, 5 of which are in the rankings in the world's top 100. It's a pretty high you know, figure. I think for a while it was actually one of the highest in the world actually for a single territory. You know, but if our universities don't produce enough of that tech talent, and frankly there's never going to be enough tech talent for, you go to some of the best hubs in the world, you're still going to find the need to actually hire these kind of tech people. You're still competing with a lot of different industries. So we also have some kind of fast track programs, visa programs, in order to bring talent in as well. So one of the examples we've listed here is the Tech Task kind of program. There's also ample kind of funding opportunities, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. But Hong Kong is also a massive place for fundraising. If you look at our IPOs, we are always within the top 1, 2, 3 kind of position globally in terms of IPO fundraising, and correspondingly we have a lot of other kind of investors as well within the VC and the PE space too. If we're talking market accessibility, obviously mainland China is a big thing. And within that, we've got the Greater Bay Area, which again, I'll talk a little bit about. But in addition to mainland China, which, we've always been very much a gateway to and from the country, we are also a conduit to other countries within ASEAN as well. And, we have actually set up some different trade agreements allowing us on a pretty unfettered access to the various kind of countries. So not only, if you were setting something up here in Hong Kong, would you be having easy access to mainland China, but also other countries within, Asia as well. So we always say, like, within 5 hours flight of Hong Kong, you can access half the world. I mean, you literally can, you're talking about mainland China, of course, you're talking about India, but within 4 hours, you're hitting most of the major cities in Asia as well. And, if you've done any kind of business in Asia, you'll understand and know that face-to-face thing is really important. And, travel restrictions notwithstanding, you can potentially, once things are up and running again, actually fly to various different cities within Asia and come back even on the same day if you wanted to. I mean, our airport is it's won quite a few accolades, including the best airport in the world, and we are the world's biggest air cargo hub globally as well. So you can just imagine the flights and accessibility to other parts within Asia to be super convenient. We've also got a whole bunch of different government policies and their support in lots of different ways. For example, there's if you're looking to do proof of concept, there's various government departments that could basically go ahead and try your tech out. We've got regulatory sandboxes if you're a fintech. There's different kind of GovTech kind of initiatives going on, and of course the data, free access to data as well under the data.gov.hk platform. Our community, our startup community, incredibly vibrant. We've got 90 plus accelerators and incubators and co-work spaces. That's the number of companies. If you actually look at number of locations, it's over about 120. So, we're talking about a lot of different kind of developments happening here. And of course, we've got the university networks and a whole bunch of different startup clubs and associations to actually provide that further level of support as well for startups who are coming in. So I think all these kind of things is that we talked about, the kind of support and that vibrancy, the access to talent, the market and things, has made Hong Kong quite strong in terms of, the kind of companies that's managed to set up here and take advantage to become a unicorn. So these are the figures from last year. So, we've got 8 unicorns in Hong Kong out of a population of 7.4 million people. It's actually one of the highest unicorn creation places in the world. So, we're serious. If you've got a really strong proposition and it really makes sense for Asia, we can help you scale and take that to big heights. So, it's something to think about if you're looking at Asia potentially as a place to expand to. So I mentioned I wanted to talk very quickly about the government kind of funding schemes. And here, it just looks like there's a ton of things. If you need to get the PowerPoint presentation, I'm sure you can ask the organizers and we'll make that available. But suffice to say that, there is funding available from the government throughout a life cycle of a startup development. So in the early kind of stages, when you're looking to do R&D, I suppose that's where most of the larger kind of funding programs are focused on. So there's like enterprise support schemes whereby, you can get up to like 10 million per project on a matching basis. I mean, this is equivalent to about, about 1.3 million US per project, and you can basically have several projects making up an actual company's products. There's also cash rebate schemes and things like that. There's also tax deduction, and if you're looking to hire, there's also other kind of schemes as well. If you're looking to hire research talent and you're bringing that in, the government could subsidize their salaries as well. And obviously they all have different kind of criteria, and they also have different kind of caveats as well. So you need to look at these in detail to see whether it is going to be relevant and right for you. But even in terms of business development, there's different kind of schemes. So for example, the technology voucher scheme is something that was brought out a few years ago because we recognize actually it was actually quite hard for startups to try and get clients for the first time. So even though the founders themselves may have come from an industry and done lots of very large scale projects, when they start up a new company, they don't have that kind of track record. And sometimes it may be difficult for corporates or other kind of SMEs to actually purchase that kind of technology if you're sort of untried and untested to a certain extent. So the technology voucher scheme is just something that the government has launched in order to try and give a little bit of a nudge to those companies to pick up your tech. So if they were, basically using your technology to enhance their business in a number of different kind of ways, they can apply for this funding and get a refund on some of the money that they've spent purchasing that technology. Fundraising, we've got a VC matching fund that the government launched for specific VCs here in Hong Kong that are investing in Hong Kong companies. Basically, the government invests on a 1 to 2 basis. So the government will invest $1 to $2 on the VC side as well. So these are just some of the kind of programs that we've got in place. And if you're also looking for a bit more detail and a place to see all of this consolidated, you can actually go to our website, the StartMeUp.HK website. There's a section on funding, and you can actually drill down a little bit more and find out more about how you apply, what the criteria are and things like that. And I mentioned that, it's not just in the kind of funding support, there's a support in other kind of ways as well for startups. And there's different kind of industries and departments helping with that. So for example, if you're in the design side, in the creative industries, we've got Hong Kong Design Centre that has an incubation program that connects you to various people, potential business partners, potential clients there. If you're looking to do R&D, there's a whole raft of different research organizations and tech parks available to support you in that. And actually 2 of them, Hong Kong Science and Technology Park and Cyberport, are the biggest tech parks here in Hong Kong that are publicly funded. And they have a raft of programs from early stage incubation right through to late stage accelerators and even just programs to try and get you in front of clients and things. And they've also got a dedicated investor network associated with both these organizations. So the accelerators might be a good way if you're not sure about Hong Kong, whether you've got a market and things. Applying to those kind of accelerators will give you a level of comfort that what you've done would be really relevant for the market here. I mentioned proof of concepts. We've got the regulators involved in that for fintech, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, the stock exchange. We've also got the electrical mechanical services department, if you're talking IoT and things. So a bunch of different things. And also I should mention the Smart Government Innovation Lab. So if you're trying to sell to the government, there's actually a matching kind of department that will do that. What they'll do is put on their website, some of the requirements from the various public entities and government departments and solicit solutions for that, and also they will showcase innovative tech, even if they don't potentially, they can't match that company directly to a requirement there and then. If they feel that these technology or this company's products are worth showcasing, they'll also add that on their website as well. And it's a site that a lot of the government departments check on a regular basis. So it really is a good idea if you're hoping to sell to these, these large public organizations, to go through that. Trade and commerce, we've got a TDC that really help you to leverage the different kind of shows and events happening across the region and also in Hong Kong to access different markets. If you're looking to manufacturing and prototyping, HKPC, the Productivity Council, can help you with that. And of course, all the other kind of supports that's offered by Invest Hong Kong, and we can link you to these other departments you can see listed here. And they're the ones that can also really give you one-on-one advice on the kind of funding that might be applicable for you and how to apply for these types of government funding. So, great resources to have if you're a brand new company, not really knowing what's available here and how you tap into it. There's just lots of different kind of organization helping you with that. Some of the accelerators I already mentioned, Cyberport and Science Park, which are the biggest ones, the publicly funded ones, but you do have a number of private ones here as well. Some of the examples are listed. The HKAI Lab, for example, was set up by Alibaba Entrepreneurs Fund and SenseTime, which is an AI unicorn that was started at Chinese University here in Hong Kong, and who have now, I think they are one of the highest valued AI unicorns globally. I think they're worth about 20 billion. So it's a pure AI play. So they set up an accelerator really focused on AI here in Hong Kong, actually located in the Science Park. And there's other kind of programs like the STARS program, which is basically a program to help companies to tap into kind of retail opportunities within the Greater Bay Area, and a number of other ones as well.
Jane,
so
1 minute, please.
1 minute.
I'm
Okay.
so
Oh my
sorry.
goodness.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. I just always used to go so fast, so I probably won't have a chance to cover everything. But I just wanted to talk about the Greater Bay Area. It's right on the doorstep of Hong Kong, and it comprises 9 cities within the Guangdong area, plus Hong Kong and Macau. And what that is just a massive business opportunity. It's a population of 71 million people, incredibly high GDP, and nearly 1.7 trillion. It's one of the highest. If it was a country, it's one of the top ones. You can see it's greater than the UK, Italy, and South Africa. So suffice to say, lots of business opportunities. It's also Shenzhen, where the clusters of the big tech companies within China, quite a few of them come from that area. So as you can imagine, like it is in Silicon Valley, spin-off and clusters happening there, lots of innovation. And again, if you're trying to reach out to some of these big tech companies, that is a way to go as well. Anyway, so I'm really short on time. I'm not going to go too much into it. Send us an email if you need us help. But the one thing I would like to say to you is that every year we organise the Hong Kong StartMeUp Hong Kong Festival. This year it's going to run between the 24th to the 28th of May. Last year, you can see the figures here. We had over 180,000 attendees. It was the first virtual event that we had did. Prior to that, it was all physical. It's a whole week worth of events, and this year is shaping up to be really good as well. Our contacts here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jane. And I also want to say to all participants of Startup Pitch Competition that we can do direct introduction to Invest Hong Kong team. If you are interested in setting up in Hong Kong or knowing more about Hong Kong startup ecosystem and Hong Kong business ecosystem. And also Invest Hong Kong and StartMeUp HK has virtual booths on our networking platform. So you can contact the team there as well.
Yeah. Actually, can I also just say one last thing? Can I just say, best of luck to the companies pitching, and I'm really looking forward to potentially, hearing some of the great ideas and seeing you set up here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you. Okay, I'm giving the vote to my partner, Lisa, so co-organizer of DigitalWeek.Online Startup Pitch Competition, and we are starting with pitch session.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Ivan. I welcome everyone to Digital Week Online and our startup pitch competition. I would like to let our jury to introduce themselves. I can see a lot of participants today. We can start with Toby. Are you here? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Just a few words.
Of course, I'm happy to introduce myself. So I work for blockchain founders fund ScaleX Ventures, which is an early stage tech investor. Our ticket size goes up to around 300K. We usually invest quite early, so happy to be here. I'm currently based in Cambodia, but gonna go back to Singapore in June. So good luck to all the startups and excited to see what kind of problems you're solving and how you're gonna solve them.
Great, thank you, Toby. We also have two participants from Internet Initiatives Development Fund, Daria and Mikhail.
Yeah, hello,
Mikhail?
Dina, not Daria, Dina.
Oh, excuse me, Dina.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you so much for having us here. So we are venture fund. We're invest into Russian-speaking companies, Russian-speaking founders. So Dina, maybe you want something to add as well.
Hey, thank you for having us today. So basically we are the most active fund, one of the most active funds in Eastern Europe. We have invested in more than 400 companies. We are invest between 50K up to 7 million, depending on the fund. Also, we target the markets like the UK, US, Southeast Asia, India, and also MENA. Yeah, basically we are IT agnostic and welcome the teams with Russian-speaking founders, but it's not necessarily the whole team which should speak Russian. And
thank you. Thank you. The next one is James Rowe and Tora Capital. James.
Good morning. It's almost 4 o'clock for me in the morning. Jim Rowe, Houston, Texas. I'm the managing partner of Ventoro Capital, investment bank, broker dealer, RIA, valuation company. Do a lot of activity in STOs, a lot of digital activity in the States. One of the few broker dealers that does anything in the US in that space.
Great, thank you. The next is Tarek. Tarek, are you with us?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity as well. Pleasure to connect. I'm part of the Sharjah Research and Technology Park, an innovation park based in the UAE. And I'm part of the Market Access and Accelerator team. Looking forward to the pitches and looking forward to connect as well with the juries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also have Max here from Intro Ventures. Hello.
Okay, just making sure, Lisa, because last time you asked for Max, there were 2 Max and both Max spoke at the same time.
In this case, I know that you are unique, Max, so that is why I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Yes, I'm Max, based in Hong Kong, from Netro. We are regional in Asia. We've been around 20 years, do mostly startups, right up to A usually. Beyond A, we would do club. Our ticket size from tens of thousands to up to 3 million. Very tech focused. That's about it. And good luck to the pitching companies.
Thank you so much. And we're going to start right now. And the first project is Agri-Eye, and Andrei Sabrikov is going to start.
Do you hear me?
Hello, yes. The stage is yours.
The deck is loading, and for some reason I cannot switch it. Wow. One moment, maybe the synchronization speed is low. So I probably have to introduce myself first. So my name is Andrei Sivakov, and I'm founder and the CEO of AgriEye Corporation, which is an artificial intelligence development structure for the future of agriculture. So if you go on this graph, you can see that's a prediction done by United Nations about 5 years ago on the comparison on arable land to capita amount, and it's dramatically decreasing. So basically, that means that we are standing on the border of food catastrophe, which will be globally by 2050. But that can be improved in their version 1, decrease capita, which is not an option, or otherwise we have to convert deserts and convert unarable land, or cut the forest and grow the crops on the space we have cut in the forest. So we are about converting the deserts using artificial intelligence, verified satellite data, and that one goes with a international partnership, and our first start will be the Middle East and North Africa area. So how does it work? AgriEye accumulates open data from the satellites group, analyzes with AI, utilizing the climate models and additional data inputs from the fields, and allows to predict the climate impact to the particular land plot. Within the technologies of financing and introducing new insertions into the soil, we can terraform the deserts within 2 years, introducing 1.6% of organic carbon in it, which allows to grow crops already. Probably this impacts 500 million farmers, and 2,000 banks can be involved into it, and it's about for 100,000 suppliers just for Middle East and North Africa, and in total impacts 7.5 billion consumers, which are actual population averse, in 197 countries. And by the graph, you can assume that 1 billion hectares demand can be present in the market in a 10 years perspective. We are follow United Nations SDGs, section 2 completely. And the competitive market looks, where our solution looks almost empty. So basically it's a blue ocean, but this analysis concerns our remote sensing capabilities. So there are like 130 companies present in the market. Here mentioned those one who utilize AI, only 5 of those. Probably we are among the best of those, and moving forward to global scale up. So that is our roadmap. We're launching this year in Egypt, in Western Desert, in cooperation with SECAM and the University of Heliopolis for Sustainable Development, converting about 700,000 hectares of desert. The project will start in 2 months. This is our team. You can find all these people here. They're all in their places with quite high experience in doing what they do. And there are our models of monetization. There are 3 of those, and they will go in a row in the parallel system. So the soil recultivation for desert conversion, and bulk data sales for the supply chain stakeholders, and software as a service for small farmholds to support small farm holding in the risk agriculture areas. Those are the partners we have here. The University of Heliopolis and SECAM are not in place yet, but still we have operation in the United States, Malaysia, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Ukraine, and we was funded last time it was 3 years ago by Catapult Accelerator, which is a Nordic impact fund, and by Startup Ventures in New York, which was February 2017. So I'm now looking for the late seed round to scale the technology for 500K at 5 million valuation, going to reach 200,000 customers in year 1. And that one is required to cover topics which are not covered by grant funding. So expected revenue 2021 is 1.3 million. For 2022, we plan to go Series A, 20 million. Valuation for now is not projected yet, to go up to 1 million customers and make X5 and company valuation. So that's all for now. What a pleasure speaking to you. Hope you like it. And you're welcome to ask your questions.
Thank you, Andrei. Judges, any questions? Okay, probably you will have some in the end of the session. So the next project is NutricareLife, Bogdan Ivanov. You're welcome.
Yeah, hello. I will load my screen share. Hope that everybody can see a lot of people eating. It's okay?
Yep.
So everybody needs healthy food. and everybody unfortunately will die sooner. 1 in 5 will die because of poor nutrition. And what we eat generates 60% of the carbon footprint. So we need to improve this, and we have these solutions. We are looking on how we eat today, and we compare with how we should eat. And comparing these two charts, we can identify the improvement areas where we should add more nutrients to cover our nutrients deficiencies. We take all this data and we are able to generate with an algorithm, which is in a patent pending process based on specific data from our users, a lot of valuable outputs like diets and carbon footprint index of what you eat, and nutrients deficiencies, and we have a prevention guide inside. And on top, using at-home medical tests, we can provide more valuable data to our users, like food, ultra recommendations of food and supplements to cover your nutrients deficiencies, and finally meal plan to implement in real life all our advices. We already look on 30 nutrients, and we have a network of partners here in Romania. We already start to develop our nutrigenetic test 3 years ago. We have partners, and now we launch our beta version of our digital app. We look on 2 types of client segments. One is health reactive, the second one is health proactive, and we have revenues from at-home medical tests. We have revenues from nutrition consultancy using our digital platform, and we will have revenues from personalized nutritional supplements, which will be delivered direct to our client's home. This is the executive team. This is the board of advisors. They are international recognized professors in the area of genetics, nutrigenetics, and metabolomics. And when we are looking to our competitors, taking in consideration these 2 criteria, from simple advices to very complex and actionable data, and from simple quiz to big data, specific data from our users, we have a lot of competitors, but we are on the top right of the chart because we are using quiz, we are using digital markers, we are using biological markers, and we are providing ultra personalized recommendations on food and supplements to our users. We want to scale our business, and we need 1.1 million euros, and we will go on 5 regions in Europe. And in the second year, we will have the break even, and we'll have these revenues. Until now, we were supported by several entities who support us to reach this level, and now we are looking for other partners who can support our development in the future. Everybody needs food. Everybody wants to be healthy. Everybody will like and love NutricareLife because it's precise, powerful, and personal. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we move.
Yeah. So thank you, Bogdan, for your presentation. Very interesting. So I just wanted to know what's the current traction of the company and what's the stage right now?
So we started 3 years ago, as I mentioned, and like a nutrigenetic testing company, and we already sell nutrigenetic testing, and we have a network of partners who provide these services to their customers. And now we want to launch our digital platform. On this digital platform, it's in a beta testing phase. We have more than 900 users. So we have a revenue of around 6,000 euro per month coming from at-home medical tests.
Okay, thank you. And what's the current use case of the client? So how do you reach the client and how the client can use the service?
So now our customers coming from our partners, from nutritionists, dietitians, and physicians, And we are intent to launch, as I mentioned, the digital nutrition consultancy via our digital platform. And we want to go on clients who are suffering from different diseases like diabetes, obesity, and we will reach them via patent associations, and this is really the channel.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we move to the next project, which is Einstown, and Evgeny Sidinkin. You're welcome on stage. Hello, Evgeny. Okay, maybe the next one we will switch.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, great. The stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. Our presentation is available from the organizers of the event. I'm Evgeny Sidinkin. I'm a founder of Einstown project. Many of us have children, and we all wish them success in life. This largely depends on how successful they will be able to master new knowledge and skills. After all, now people study all their lives. That is why the sector of additional online education for both adults and children is now rapidly developing. For example, in Russia, we have about a dozen education platforms for school children, but unfortunately, they are not as effective as we would like, and children quickly lose interest in them. Let me explain why. There is a moment when the way how children learn changes dramatically. This is when the kids become school children. Before school, children are involved in learning through fairy tales, games, cartoons. However, at school, children are taught with lessons, exercises, assignments, and tests. The difference is huge. Before school, children acquire knowledge voluntarily and naturally, but at school, they are forced to acquire knowledge. The problem is that education platforms for students offer the same tools as schools: assignments, lessons, and tests, plus a little bit of gamification. Einstein's mission is to rectify the situation and bring the joy of learning to elementary school children. We see a solution in mobile application in the form of full-fledged game, which a student can use for several years. Game mechanics will stimulate the user to master new knowledge in order to achieve progress in the game and to obtain game assets. We embedded an adaptive system which adjusts tasks to the level of training of the user. This offers a personalized learning experience. Einstown has following key competitive advantages. First and most important, it's much more efficient than education platforms since it motivates, captivates, and retains the student much better. Second, it's cheaper to maintain as it does not require interaction with teachers, schools, and tutors, as most education platforms do. Third, it's more accessible for school children as it focuses on mobile devices and not on personal computers as platforms do. The market for such application is huge. In the world, there are more than 1.5 billion school children, of which half of billion are primary school students. And we believe with our help, fun games will replace boring platforms in the elementary school segments. So I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Evgeny. Any questions from our judges? Okay, then we move to the next project, which is Jala. Ladies, hello.
Hello, thank you, Lisa.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Hi. Hi, my name is Liris. I'm the CEO of Jala. Let me bring you to the fish world, especially shrimp. So it's like a 30 billion world that there's no tech disruption over the past 20 years. That's why Jala come with a sustainable tech-savvy shrimp farm solutions to tackle this industry. This is Aryo, one of our co-founder. He's a shrimp farmer and he's been farming shrimp since 2001. He's been experienced ups and downs in this industry. And in 2015, he has like a huge loss and he's kind of like thinking how he can help his farms with the precision farming, sort of like a real-time monitoring of his farm. But the things in the shrimp industry, shrimp is a very, very, very lucrative, but the production is unpredictable. Quite often it failed because of disease or climate change. And on the downstream side or the post-production side, supply is actually less than the demand. That's why we need to produce more shrimps. So how can we produce more shrimps? So one of the things that the farmers is always seeking is financing, but there's not enough data for financing institutions to come to this industry to do this, to help these shrimp farmers to improve their production. So our objective is improving shrimp productivity in more sustainable and traceable way with IoT, AI, farm automations, marketplace, and helping financing and insurance companies, industry, and everything through the community driven. So we create a digital ecosystem enabler across the industry chains. On the production, we help the farmers with the farm management solutions. We have IoT, AI analytical and systems. And on the post-productions, we have traceable trading solutions. And we also have the financing, insurance, and everything assistance program for the farmers with our Jala Smart Farm solution. A little bit detailed, this is our apps and our hardware IoT device that we create, already patented. It collects water quality, sent to the cloud with other data collected by mobile apps. It articulates into an insight, give the farmers predictions to what they need to do on the farms based on this data. And we also connect the farmers with the buyer through traceable trading solutions. It is kind of like a data-driven marketplace where we can actually provide faster payment to the farmers through this digital ecosystem. And lastly, our Jala Smart Farm program is like an assistancy joint cooperation program on the ground. We assist the farmers, we provide the field assistance, data recording systems, connecting with experts, and we provide networking to the financials and other support. So the result is what we saw is like we have been increased more than 25% productivity level and 5% more on the survival rate of the shrimp itself through giving feed and treatment recommendations and farm practice suggestions. And accuracy of our devices as well as accuracy on the apps is already more than 90%. So it's a 264 billion market size in aquaculture, specifically for shrimp is 30 billion. We started in Indonesia with 2.2 billion. The business model is like a subscription for the apps, and we also sell the hardware for retail or rent the device. On the post-production though, where we connect the buyer with the trading, we take a commission fee. And on the assistancy program, it's like more like a profit sharing type of things. Since 2019, where we launched the market, we've been growing like 6% month to month in 2020. Now we have 15,000 ponds already, monitored with Jala apps. And around 8,600 farmers already on board with Jala apps itself. And we see the growth of the paid users for like 30% in month-to-month basis. And we've been partnered up with several massive and huge stakeholder industry in this industry, like fitness company, insurance, fintech company, as well as processing company. So our revenue growth in 2020 is 10x from 2019. Overall, we have like 800,000 US dollar revenue last year's. And in this January and February, we already received like 350,000 US dollars as revenue. So this is the team. Aryo is the shrimp farmers. He's the chairman of this company. Myself, I used to work in oil and gas company before I joined with this team. So I'm really tech savvy type of person. I also have Shoki Aziz, my CTO, who actually really into this IoT type of things. We received the seed round last in 2018. by last 2018 by 5 other startup and hedge. And this is our R&D facility that we have in Indonesia. Our founder stream farms recirculating aquaculture system to actually produce shrimps or other ocean fish in the land base, and then hardware laboratory and shrimp disease laboratory as well. So our acts today, so we're currently on pre-A fundraising with 3.5 million, and it will be used to produce the hardware as well as improve the market acquisitions on the ground, improve the market share in Indonesia to 2%, as well as preparing to launch in Vietnam and Thailand. So if you want to join me on the fight to sustainable shrimp productions, please talk to me at liris@jala.tech. Thank you.
Hello, any questions?
Yeah, Liris, that's a wonderful presentation. Thank you for sharing. I just wondered whether you have looked at the deals in the field, so you might know the multiples and the valuation of your possible competitors or companies which work in the same field.
Yes, we did.
So could you share that?
Right. So at this point, the competitor that we have in aquaculture space in Indonesia, what I say, so one of the competitor, indirect competitor is Veertly. So they're currently on the series B round. And at this point, Veertly is focusing on the fresh water, while we are focusing on the shrimps, which is the brackish water. Just different type of aquaculture industry. So that's why I say it's indirectly, but that's sort of like my role model as well in this industry. Dina?
Well, I'm also wondering in terms of possible exit and possible outcome of the company. So what are the target point you're going for?
Okay, so the exits at this point, so I've been offered to, sort of like an M&A with other player in this aquaculture tech or agri-tech industry. One of the possibilities M&A, but we could, but as a company, we actually go, also target to IPO because we kind of like going to reach a profitability by the next 2 years, and we're going, not profitability like break-even point on the next 2 years. So initially we target like IPO in the next 5 years, but if there's an M&A offer before that, we might think of that as well. Which is currently the talk is already started.
Thank you, Liris.
Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, Liris. We'll move to the next project, which is PlaynBrag. Oysen, are you with us?
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to share the screen.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Okay, guys, I'll quickly run you through it here now. PlaynBrag. PlaynBrag is a social sports betting platform where we offer
Hello. Oisin? Sorry, I have some technical problem.
I think we lost him. I think he's disconnected right now. So
okay.
Probably we can move to other startup.
Great, thank you, Ivan. The next one is FastTest. Andrew.
Hello, guys. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm going to share my screen and make a presentation. All right. So do you see it? Everything is fine? Looks like yes. Okay. So hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Kislov. I am CEO and founder in FastTest. And in FastTest, we're building a next generation platform for brand content optimization. So I will start from some overview about the market, and we can roughly split whole market of marketing spends to performance marketing and to brand marketing. And performance marketing, here is everything is measurable. There is lots of different metrics like lifetime value, conversions, sales, cost per action, cost per click, and other things. So everything is measurable, data driven. Everyone knows the result that let's say, pay $100 per the ad and going to have a revenue for, let's say, $200. So everything we can measure and manage. On the other hand, there is brand marketing, and brand marketing is about 200 billions. Here is no one really knows how it works, and everything is unmeasurable. So whole modern brand management is built on a foundation of different professional intuitions and opinions. And the largest brands like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, other guys spend billions of dollars to the brand marketing, to the ads on TV, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever else, and really cannot manage this process, don't know whether it works or not. So how they spend this money, no one knows. So really no one knows. They buy the ads by so-called CPM model, like 1,000 views. And really no one knows how these 1,000 views of ads convert into their brand metrics, like brand recall and brand awareness. So no one knows that, for example, I bought 1,000 views, how they converted into attentions, into emotions to this ad, to the memorization. No one has this data. And moreover, no one knows how exactly to change the video in this ad to improve these brand metrics. So we're building a system which can predict the impact on brand metrics for each channel, for each ad, and automatically make improved version of the ad. So we provide information how ad is performing in different channels in the brand marketing, and we automatically make improvements in this version of this ad. So user scenario. So for example, a lady from Coca-Cola, marketing director, going to launch new product in a new country, and they have, let's say, $10 million for these ad campaigns, and they have free ads from the agency. And she wondering how she can get the most out of it. So we answer that, dear Coca-Cola lady, upload videos here, wait for a few days, and then we say, here, ad number 1 is perfect for YouTube. Ad number 2 is better to use in Facebook, but we change here pack shot and logotype made it better. So here's your improved version. You don't have to ask your creative team to make improvements. It's automatically done. And ad number 3 is better. You don't have to show it to anyone in this world. Here's your action plan. Spend money like this. And she's like, wow, now I can easily increase brand recall, and I know how to make it and make every dollar count. So how we've been developing? We set up our company in this April in United States. This July, we have our pre-seed investments for 100K. At the end of August, we started our global lead generation process and entered number of the regions. And at the December, we started to sign about 3 new partners in a month, and have now partnerships in the number of regions, like in the European Union, in India, Indonesia, in Latin America, and 2 weeks ago we have had our first revenue from United States, and now we're looking for a seed investment for $1 million to increase our sales and our business development. So the key team players, it's Vladimir, Nick, and me. I am neuroscientist by education and entrepreneur in this area. So I already made 6 businesses and learned lots of lessons of how not to make lots of things. And my core expertise is neuroscience, so we just put it here to the analytics of the perception of the different ads. My partner, Vladimir, is an entrepreneur and professional in venture capital, and he already made 4 businesses and 3 exits out of it. Now he is partner in the venture fund in Luxembourg. And partner Nikita, he is ex-Accenture Digital technology consultant. We have top advisors. Olivier, he is ex-managing director in Nielsen France and have more than 20 years in this industry. Miana, who has lots of 25 years in advertising industry and knows perfectly all markets and what it needs. Vasily, who is one of the top neuroscientists in this field in the world. And after lots of talks with our advisors, with the leaders of opinions in the world, we perfectly know the landscape of how industry works and where everything goes. So it started with cheap and dirty analytics and surveys. Then it came to professional tools. Now the top interesting thing and the trend, which all the industry approve, is that everyone trying to make tools with analysis of emotions inside the ad to make this brand management something manageable. And everything goes to the artificial intelligence, which we also build, which will allow to make automatically the ads which really work and really increase brand metrics, not just by opinions, but they really increase these metrics in an automated way. We perfectly understand that there is a number of potential strategic partners who also go this way, trying to go this way, and we're looking for partnership with them. With some of them, we already have some partnership, and we understand that they can be our potential acquisition guys. And we perfectly know that the company which will have our solution, which we're developing, is going to win this opportunity as a $5 billion market. This is it from my side. Thank you for your interest and attention. We're happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Andrew. Any questions?
I would have 2 questions, actually, if possible.
Yeah.
And the first question is this a tool primarily targeted to social media advertising, since this was used throughout the presentation, or is it in general as well?
It's for brand marketing, and channels are YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, like them. So it is not TV and it's not performance channel. It's a rich media campaign.
Okay, fair enough. And since you guys have already pitched to a bunch of companies, I guess, because you are already received some revenue, what are the reasons if someone decides not to go with your solution?
Can you please repeat the question? I didn't hear it well. Yes.
Yes. When, for example, when you are in your sales process, right, and you would pitch your solution to a potential client, have you ever been rejected, and what was the reason where they decided not to move forward with your solution?
So at the moment, the key barriers are that we work with top companies, like trying to work with them, I would say, with like Procter & Gamble and Unilever. So this is our target audience. And the key barrier is that they can use their common methods of analytics and of brand production. And sometimes they like to make one more focus group, which is absolutely ineffective and not data driven and cannot predict real results. But sometimes for them it's easier because they just make it. Now this is a key barrier at the moment. It's just some of them like this, old methods, let's say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Any other questions? Okay, if you have some, just remember we'll have a Q&A session in the end, so you can leave your comment in the end. So the next project is Interact Labs. Mohammed, welcome on stage.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Great. So welcome everyone. My name is Mohammed Samir. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Interact Labs. So we mainly develop hardware and software products that makes the whole collaborating experience more engaging and fun. So most of our sessions are based on lecture method, where when we feel bored, disconnected, and disengaged. While actually science have shown that using lecture method, we can only retain 5% of the information delivered, which hinders collaboration and engagement. While when people collaborate, even with the simplest tools, magic happens. So that's why we introduced TACT. It's a device that transforms any huge monitor, whether it was a projected board or even a normal TV screen, into fast and accurate interactive surface for collaboration. So you can use visual aids, interactive applications, you can access the internet, you can play with simulations, you can work on Microsoft programs such as Excel, PowerPoint, and PDF. Just about any computer application you control with a mouse. So you just plug tag detector into your computer USB port and point it towards the monitor. And now the new surface is completely interactive. So again, TACT is not a projector. It's just a sensor that transforms any existing monitor to be interactive. So there are different alternatives in the market, including smart boards, which are mostly known in education, or interactive projectors or touch screens, which are mostly known in businesses. While also there are a few direct competitors worldwide, whether in USA or in China, including TouchJet, UBI, eBeam, and so on. So what makes that different, it's more durable. It doesn't include any electronic surfaces, which are mostly broken or misused in education. It also transforms up to 150-inch interactive surface, which is almost 3 meters width and 2 meters high. And it's compatible with any type of TV screens and any type of projectors and any type of software, which is make it an easily add-on that transforms any existing environment to be interactive. Last but not least, it's cost effective. We sell it for only $300. It includes the detector, 2 electronic silences, and 3 years warranty. We also do after sales and maintenance services, which adds 15%, and do annual upgrades, which adds 10% margin. So we have already deal with more than 85 B2B customers, mainly in Egypt, but also in 7 different countries across Africa, MENA region, and Europe. While actually our clients, including schools, universities, corporates, and NGOs that helps developing education. So to which we have actually have sold around 600 kits, generated $190,000 in revenues, and we had 80% gross margin. And these numbers actually can be much better with mass production. So we actually started with focusing on the Egyptian marketing, targeting private businesses and schools through direct sales, distributors, and online channels. And we almost have around 6 kits per order. And we have our happy customers that have been reviewing TACT and facing on how it's fun, easy to use, and affordable. So actually the market is huge. The interactive display market is expected to reach $13.2 billion by 2025. But also TACT is more as activity-oriented, more than a segment-oriented, which means it can fit with different segments, with different use cases, whether in education, businesses, advertisement, gaming, and so on. So actually what makes Interact Labs distinguish hardware startup is that we are lowering the risks that exists in different aspects of the business, including capital risk with almost less than 20% cost of goods sold. Also the operational risk, because we have almost zero maintenance issues with the 600 kits that we have sold. Also the hardware is very simple and pretty simple, which makes the operation very easy, whether in production, shipment, stocking, and so on. We also rely on our distributors and resellers to offer the sales and after sales services, so we don't have to do it ourselves. And we expect also, as I said, having different segments and different markets that we can excel. And also we have a business model for bundling with complementary products such as Intel Mainstay, for example, or Microsoft Suite, and also licensing our technology for the mini projector manufacturers, so they can offer an all-in-one solution for the portable for the portability of the teachers and trainers to do interactive presentation. Or actually, TAC also can fit with the online collaboration, whether in businesses or in education. So we actually are developing our next product. It's called Pendo. Pendo is like an enhanced stylus that enables you to remotely control your screen without having to touch it. So it's like an ear mouse, gesture controller, and a clicker all in one stylus. So it can work with Tap to add to it a greater functionality, but it can also work as a standalone device. So this is the team behind Interact. We actually now are 9, and not only 6, 9 full-time team members, and we have over 30 years experience in technical development, hardware distribution, marketing, and project management. And to be able to reach our goal, we actually are raising $200,000 to enable us this year to reach 4 times growth than last year, mainly to be spent on research and development, team expansion, and marketing. So that's it. And this here's our context. I will be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Questions?
Hi, Mohammed. Thank you for your presentation. I need to admit you have a great margin for the hardware project. So I'm just wondering, where do you produce your device? Whether you produce it yourself or you have the partnership with someone?
So yes, we have partnership with different suppliers, whether in China or in Egypt. So we actually have the production done in steps rather than doing it in only one facility. So part of it is produced in China, and other part here is made in Egypt locally in-house.
Okay, so in this case, I'm wondering, how do you protect your IP? Like, it's always the problem for the companies and hardware.
Okay, so actually we have our edge in both hardware and software. So actually hardware is easy to be copied, or actually the software or the firmware that runs the hardware itself, we actually have a huge edge in it, and we have been developing it since for 3 years now. Actually, we also are aiming to register patents as a part of this fund that we are raising. So yeah, we have. Sorry, can you hear me clearly? I don't know. I can.
Not well. I think is it the sound from your micro?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. So again, I don't know if you have heard me well. So again, we have an edge in both hardware and software. So as I said, the hardware, yes, it can be easily copied, but the software itself, which is the firmware that runs the hardware, we actually have a huge edge in developing it, and we have been developing it for 3 years to now. And currently we are registering a patent and making it actually as a part of the fund that we are raising. So yeah, we actually have that enables us to protect our work. So actually, one is the patent, but also we depend again on the product development itself to be steps forward than the market. So we actually do not only rely on the IP registration, but also we have development that is going on to be just steps forward than the market.
Thank you, Mohammed.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I see that we missed one project. So the last one we have today is Veertly. Joshka, you are welcome on stage.
Hi, everyone. Let me quickly share my screen. Hi. So yeah, I'm Joshka. I'm one of the co-founders and CFO of platform Veertly. Veertly is a seamless all-in-one platform for online and hybrid events for 50 to 2,000 people, but we also do more. What what has been our vision and our starting point. So our vision is basically to provide the best and most valuable connections, and we think they can be more tailored, easier, and then more sustainable than ever before, and also better than in real time. But why do we want to do this? Well, it's basically, there's this mega trend, right? We know all about it, and it's online and hybrid events, and we've seen that all conferences basically running in virtual and in hybrid, especially also as this one. And we can see the market growth only the next 5 years is more than 270 billion US dollar, which equals to a CAGR of 33%. And so this market opportunity is what we are addressing. We have the right team for it. I mean, we've built a strong team quite in a short setup with my co-founders, Jala and Alexander, who run the technical side, but also the business and growth sides. And we have a strong team beneath us. And we're currently growing our team to about 15 employees. What are our platform use cases? Well, we do everything from conferences, workshops, and hackathons, which are our core focus, but also small trade fairs and company events. So our platform and our solution can be used in diverse settings. And why is this the case? Because this is also our advantage of our platform. So our platform is basically the most feasible when it comes to integrating third-party tools, but also to be more flexible and most customizable than any other platform out there. And we see that how we can change our platform from launching the real product in summer and having customers in September. We're increasing the NPS just from November to January from 25 to 52%. And then the second thing is, I mean, like we're focusing at the moment also on the European market, and our location matches quite well the data privacy needs. So what we have achieved so far and what we try to go further is, yes, we have a strong traction. And what means a strong traction means we have more than 2,500 events hosted. That means, I don't know, when I tell you this, today there are probably more events ongoing. So this number is daily outdated, but it's more than 75,000 attendees. We have more than 160 customers, partly recurring and partly one-time customers. And you see on the left side our traction per attendees. We have only in the last 4 months, we have achieved more than roundabout more than 300 Switzerland francs in revenue in the last 5 months. So what are we looking forward? We're raising our seed round at the moment, and we are currently in discussion. And to grow the team even further, we think we can achieve up to 1.5 million in revenue this year and grow the path to in the next 3 years up to 100 million in revenue, which is our goal, depending on and how much funding we get. At the moment, we look for a seed round that is 1 million. Any questions?
Hi, Jorka. I assume you haven't shared the right screen, so we didn't see your presentation. At least I haven't seen that. Could you guide us through it again so we might have seen your traction and the slides, if you don't mind?
I see. Oh, sorry. Can you see it now? So...
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, sorry for that. I leave it at the use cases so you can get a feeling like on the platform. This is how our platform looks like. It can be used in conferences, workshops, and hackathons. Those are our main focus at the moment, but also like a lot of company events and smaller trade fairs where we plug in 3D worlds from a third-party provider. So very flexible. This is what I've told about the platform. This is what we have in traction at the moment. So you see our attendees per month. We actually started launching our commercialization in not before September. Had really, I mean, we had a few paying customers before, but the official start of commercialization in September, and achieved until today around 300K in Switzerland francs.
Could you also share some metrics of the client if you have that? So customer acquisition, LTV, how many times the customers usually buy your solution or pay for during the year, and for how long?
Yeah, So since we're quite new in the market, but I can say around about 30 to 40% are recurring customers from that revenue. We have currently a predominant pay per event usage. I mean, like we have a go-to-market of a pay per event, but also white label solutions. We more and more sign up customers to a subscription model. So we believe that there will be pay per event for larger events, but there will be the majority move to a subscription-based model. And we have basically barely customer acquisition costs. We have just hired somebody as a head of marketing and head of growth. We basically live from the word of mouth. Each event is a multiplicator for us at the moment. So actually we have a lot of requests that we are fulfilling. And so we don't spend any money at the moment for marketing and sales. And this is why we're also looking for, why we believe we can grow even stronger. We want to invest in that area, of course in the product side, but also in the sales and marketing side. And then we believe indeed that we can grow even faster.
Thank you, Joschka. I think this is the last presentation for today. And I can ask our judges to leave some comments or give some recommendations. Maybe you have some questions to the projects. You're welcome.
Lisa, we do have Oisin here. Maybe he can pitch the stuff.
I was going to ask, could I get an opportunity to pitch again, please? Because I don't know what happened there last time.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome.
Okay, I'll go on. Okay, sorry, view. Okay. Sorry, can everybody see it? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So like I was saying before, we're a social sports betting app where we offer 5 global sports: the Premier League, Champions League, golf, Formula 1 and tennis opens. You swipe left or right for each sport. So we're the first sports social betting app of its kind where you can set up or join bet scenes with friends and private bets or leagues on live sports in under a minute. That also applies obviously to all other social groups, not just friends. So how we achieve this is by allowing the user to simply select who they want on their team when setting up or joining a bet, while also using deep linking optimized flows. So if you look over here on the right hand side, you'll see the set bet. And players basically click on the set bet and you pick whatever players you want on your team, invite your friends, they simply join the bet very quickly, and whoever has the most points at the end of the tournament wins the pot. We've also got social media page for each sport, swipe left or right for each sport for the social media feed where people can like, comment and share on their specific sport, and also post sports related news to their sports feed. We also include features such as live bets, leagues, comments functionality to increase user engagement, public bet section where people can also bet against the wider public and to be given a chance to win larger pots. And we also have the latest content on each sport, leaderboards, results, fixtures, and so on for each sport. So our KPIs are our route to market is through the golf because they represent the most engaged audience out of all of our users. So 50% of our newly registered users create a bet, 50% are monthly active users. And these are metrics from a golf term, which is going to be a route to our initial route to market. Cost to acquire registered users is €1.56, and 53% convert to active players with an average of 5 players per private league, with 84% of these active players coming back daily. This is when we only had 4 golf majors on the app. We now have 33 golf tournaments on the app. So our competition, Paddy Power, who are a huge sportsbook betting company here in Ireland and the UK, worldwide, Paddy Power Betfair, they now offer a fantasy sports offering on their platform for the UK and Irish market, shown here on the right hand side, and further validating that there's now an appetite for this market in our area. DraftKings, the biggest daily the biggest daily fantasy sports provider in the world with a huge presence in North America. Went public last year, in April of last year, at 3.5 billion, and were recently valued at 17 billion in September of last year. They're most similar to our business model in terms of the offerings. Who Knows Wins is another UK startup with a similar concept to us, so sports social betting, but a much more basic offering, and the secured funding are now getting traction in the UK. So the market size in the UK alone, sports betting market, online sports betting market, is worth £2.5 billion, with approximately 3 million users in the UK and Ireland. The fantasy sports market is approximately 3 million users in the UK and Ireland, with 100 million globally. Our business model is 7.5% commission for all winning cash pots, and 7.5% commission for all winning cash pots, and 10% commission for all winning virtual pots. Key takeaways are: we've got a UK gambling license, we're fully regulated with the UK Gambling Commission, and we accept live payments, are fully tested, are live in the App Store and the Google Play Store, and also a website. We're now in the final phase of development with the iOS app social media feed, upon securing seed round funding of 670,000 in June of this year, which will then be used to scale the business. We've got a clear route to market with a low and sustainable cost to acquire customer market entry with a massive market opportunity. Team who we are, myself and the guys out in India who have been with me since the start of the build and know it inside out. Seeking funds, like I said, of 670,000 euros to scale the business. That's it. Any questions, please? I'll just exit out of this. Stop sharing. Sorry. I'm not good at Zoom at all. So, sorry, any questions? Will I mute? Can you hear me?
Yes. Any questions, judges? Okay. Thank you very much, Oysen. Thank you for the 2 attempts. Actually, I would like to ask all the jurors, what do you think? What is your general feeling about today's pitch competition? Maybe you can give the suggestions to the participants. You're welcome. Okay, maybe Toby. Tarek, Max.
No, it's definitely interesting and insightful companies. I was happy to join. I also reached out to a couple of them in a message, so definitely a follow-up. Of course, you always have these technical issues, which are, but that's probably like normal in today's Zoom world. But if you can have probably maybe a bit more one-on-one sessions or like bigger rooms in the end, that would be really helpful to get to know the founders a bit more in detail. That's just a little.
Yep, Lisa, I agree with that. I think with the pitch format, it's always difficult to ask very detailed questions because you've got so limited time. I would love to have one-to-one session with some of the companies, particularly those which are in our region. Unfortunately, it's not the language thing. It's not the fact that you speak or not speak Russian or Chinese. But if you're outside my region, then unless you have a business which has scalability into Asia in general, we just don't look at your business. So I did not get a sense of that from the presentations that I heard just now. So if you want to write, Lisa and Ivan has my email. So happy to receive your pitch deck. And if you have a scalability plan into Asia, happy to look at your plan in more detail, because most of the guys pitching just now were Russia, Romania, Egypt, were too far away for us to invest in. So, but if you do have an angle in Asia, please let us know. Then we're happy to look at you more seriously. But those who are in Asia, sure, we would love to have a one-to-one session for a more detailed discussion.
Thank you, Max. Actually, we will be happy to share the materials, and that's what we usually do. Sure, yeah, let's have the projects to go to Asia. Any other comments, questions? We have 1 last minute.
Yes, please. So thank you everyone for participating. It's really challenging time, and I understand it's really difficult to pitch online, especially with Zoom and technical issues. So thank you for being patient and answering all the questions. I do agree with Tobias and Max. Like it would be really relevant to have one-to-one meetings with the companies which works with our markets, target markets, and which have the same mandate we are interested in. And as a feedback to the founders, I'd like to overall say that sometimes we didn't have enough metrics to look to your unit economics, not for everyone, but that happened. Also, in some cases, that was unclear what are the markets and what's the strategy to scale the business. So whether it's the US, whether it's Southeast Asia or other markets. So that would be really useful if you could guide us through your business model, through your metrics, and then your future plans, as it's not clear for us as we see some companies for the first time. But overall, thank you. Very interesting and very diverse teams and the fields.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and nice to see you all here. So we are moving to the next session. We will share all the information about the project with you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.